So, welcome to our channel. Today, I want to talk how to create the contribution table, how to show our paper novelty with the other papers. As you know, that for every article we have the introduction, literature review, research methodology, result discussion, and conclusion. So, one of the important part of your paper is novelty and contribution of your paper with other papers, which is the main part of your paper. So if you are able to show this contribution, then you have a chance to you increase your chance to accept your paper with the journal. So we go back to the literature review part. After the introduction, the important thing is literature review. Literature review it means you are going to check and investigate the last research conducted by this researcher similar to your work. You identify some problems over there. For example, they develop something, but it's still some problem on that research area. So we call it research gap. So end of the research literature review, you will reach to the research gap. So in your current work, you should to solve these gaps, to minimize these gaps, to mitigate these gaps. So uh, there are different ways to present these gaps, but one of the way that I recommend to add to your paper to increase your chance to accept your paper is to create such a this table. What is this table? I will show you. This is one of the topic related to the EV charging, electrical vehicle charging, for example, um, the base EV charging to integrate to the grid. For example, this paper compare compare the current paper with the previous paper. Let me highlight here this paper. Okay, this researcher said. Let me change the color. Okay, highlight. Okay, this is the paper. So and compare with the 10 papers or 6, 7 papers here. For example, this car using this feature, slow, medium, and fast. For example, for charging. And for example, this paper doesn't consider this feature. But how about this paper consider this feature? So they consider another feature also, sensitive analysis. They consider renewable energy and PV placement. They consider voltage deviation. So they have a different objective, different um, indicators. Based on different indicator and the objective, they compare with the other papers. For example, this paper do not consider this objective or this indicator or these features. Only focus on this and these three. Another paper they focus on this and this. So if you like this, and the current paper, this paper consider all of them. This is the contribution of your paper. So none of these papers from 29 until 37 for this particular paper consider all of these feature. So your paper or this current paper is the novelty and it shows how this paper compare much more better than previous paper. So this is one of the table that you can create easily and compare your work with the previous work. So do let me show you a few more tables, similar table. For example, this is another table someone created, and for example, they put the feature and the objective or something like that. They put it here, and then this is the reference. They compare with the 6, 7 papers, and they said, for example, this paper considered this feature, this feature, this feature, and but they didn't consider this feature. But current paper consider this paper, this all feature. So it means you're showing your contribution and comparing your work with the previous work. So you can design a different table based on your objective, based on your design, then compare your work with the other people. Then easily you can introduce your work with the reviewer. Let me see if I have other. So okay, this is another table. In this table, They compare literature review on HIDS and main contribution of current study, showing the, and this is the feature. This author they put the feature here, and this is the reference. I think 6 7 papers, and it will show that what is the different the current paper or your paper with the other paper. So for example, this paper consider this feature, well, there are less attention to this and this. Another paper like that. So this is easy, and you can create such a this table for your work to show your what is the different your work with the other. This is another sample. I think 6 7 to 10 reference is sufficient, and make sure about your feature. So this is a good idea if you can, if you want to show your work with the other work and compare with the other and showing what is the novelty. Sometimes if you're writing the one paragraph, two paragraph, maybe it's difficult for to the reviewer to read what you write. Maybe it's difficult when you, but when you create in such a this table, it's much more better and increase the chance to accept your paper based on this contribution. Hope this video help you to improve your paper and accept your paper. Thank you so much for your attention.